This is the SAU Report, a program featuring interviews with the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.
Welcome to this edition of the SAU Report. I'm Eric Waller.
And I'm Jeff Grissom.
Today our guest is Jeremy Grissom, President of Phi Lambda Chi fraternity on the Southern Arkansas University campus. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me.
Jeremy, tell the viewers a little bit about Phi Lambda Chi fraternity and some of its history.
Well, Phi Lambda Chi is a national fraternity. It was founded at Arkansas State Teachers College March 15th, 1925, and that is now University of Central Arkansas. Locally, Phi Lambda Chi was here on SAU campus, was founded spring 1976.
Jeremy, how many Phi Lambda chapters are there in the country?
Right now we have 15 chapters, basically just in Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. We have approximately about 5 here in Arkansas, so we're small nationally, but there's advantages and disadvantages of that.
What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of being small on a national scale?
Well, some advantages would be with the national organization, you get to meet them, talk with them personally one-on-one, where if you're a large fraternity, you never talk to the nationals, like your national president. I get phone calls, emails, everything else from the national people, where if you're a large fraternity, you don't get that. Disadvantages with being small is nobody really hears about you from other states, like around California, New York, states like that, where the larger organizations, they know who you are growing up,
Jeremy, we hear so many negative things about fraternities. Tell some of the positive things that Phi Lambda Chi does on the SAU campus.
Well, some things positive that we do, I know everybody hears negative stuff from the big schools, We sponsor a blood drive. That's 2 times a year, each semester. We locally we help out with the CCAPS, Columbia County Animal Protection Society. We help out with their money-raising efforts at Walmarts and Kmarts. We help out with the Special Olympics that's held every spring here in Magnolia, and those are just a couple, name a few.
Okay. What are some of the differences between Phi Lambda Chi fraternity and some of the other fraternities on campus?
Here on SAU campus, our fraternity, we're real diverse. We're a good group of guys. We have approximately, we have 21 actives right now and 12 new members in training. We're real diverse, like I said. We have a basketball player, track, people on the rodeo team. We have so-called preps, just a whole different group of guys, where some just look at one of those as their requirements to get in.
Now, this may not be true on the SAU campus, but I know on some of the larger campuses, some of the fraternities really have rivalries with each other, and some of that gets pretty bitter. Does that exist here on the campus, or is it more of a friendly rivalry thing?
Well, it's supposed to be friendly, but it does not end up that way, because we have 3 other fraternities, quote, that we compete with, to get our new members, and we, like I said, we compete for the same group of guys, because you'll have one guy looking at all 4 fraternities, and it gets pretty heated, but most time it's friendly.
What are some of the guidelines or requirements to become a member of Phi Lambda Chi?
Phi Lambda Chi, our guidelines are you have to have 12 hours, and you have to have a 2.0 grade point average. That's our requirements and also the school requirements.
Okay, and how do they compare with the requirements of other fraternities or sororities?
Well, I've heard, I don't know for a fact, but other fraternities on this campus, just by talking with their presidents and their executive boards, some have to have a 2.5 grade point average. Some have to have more than 30 hours. some rely basically on higher grade point averages and that type of stuff.
Okay, what happens, say if a member's grade point average drops below 2.0? Is he automatically inactive, or is he going to probation period, or how does that work?
Okay, how that works is he goes inactive. He's still a member of our fraternity, and he's still active on our part, but by the school standards, he has to go inactive. And like with us, we give him a 1 semester probationary period, and then but dealing with the school, they require you to go inactive if you drop below a 2.0.
Do you think the guidelines are a little stricter? Would you like to see them a little tougher, or a little bit easier? Or?
Well, every other fraternity you go to, or every other campus you go to, the fraternities, sororities, you don't have to have hours to get in. And I would like to see that dropped, because you lose a lot of people. Because, I mean, they'll come in the first semester, be looking at you, and then they'll like transfer to another school, and I want to see that dropped, because that would help us out. Because if you go to Fayetteville, Henderson State, they have rush during the summertime, most of y'all know about, and they can come in, rush during the summertime, and start pledging that semester. And everybody, they ask why, and we tell them go talk to school. It's the school's baby, I guess, on that.
So basically, you have to be enrolled for a semester before you can even pledge.
Right, you have to be enrolled as an active student 12 hours and maintain a 2-point.
Well, with academics being your number one responsibility for being at college, do you feel that being a part of the fraternity hinders or helps your academics?
Personally, with me, being a Greek on SAU's campus, being a Phi Lam, that's opened up doors for me. I was on SGA executive board. I've been in resident assistants. I've been a member of IGC, that's the Inter-Greek Council, the Interfraternal Council. So it does not hinder in any way. We have study halls we attend, that all the brothers attend, that is mandatory. And I've been here for 5 years, and I'm still in school, so I don't guess this hindered me that much.
All right, staying with the pledges, what process does a student have to go through the pledging process with your particular fraternity?
With our fraternity, we give them a pamphlet, a book that has our history in it. And we help them understand really what brotherhood's all about. And with the book that I was talking about, they have to take a test of our history and pass the test and basically know our history.
Okay. You are the president of your fraternity. How is the president and other officials selected? What's the process y'all go through?
The process we go through is every spring. It's done in the springtime. We have a voting. All the active brothers vote. You get nominated, and majority vote, and if you have the majority number of votes, you get it.
What all offices are voted on?
We have the president, of course, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the sentinel.
What are the terms on each office head?
They're 1 year. Every spring you start over with the whole new.
And once you've held a position, can you move up to another one or go down? Or
yes. With me, I started out, I held the secretary position, and then I moved up a year later to vice president, and then I'm on my second term as president of Phi Lam.
As president, what are your duties for the fraternity?
My duties is be social with the students on campus, go to meetings. We have President's Roundtable, which that's not just Greek, that's all the presidents of organizations. Talk with school officials, basically just meet with the public, be in the public's eye.
Do you find that the president of the university and other faculty members do they try to work with fraternities and sororities on campus, or do you think they kind of tend to pull in opposite ways?
They want you to think that they're helping the fraternities, but we have negative responses from school officials, and we've been trying, not only our fraternity but other fraternities and sororities have been trying to change that, but it's just going to take time.
What do you think some of the possible reasons for that are?
They look at the bigger fraternities at bigger schools, like the kid that died at LSU. They don't want that to happen here, which, I mean, there's no way to totally say, hey, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they look as SAU, as academics, which, you know, everybody should, but they don't want it to reflect on Greeks, I don't think.
Speaking of the bigger schools, and you know, there's been stories about, you know, frat guys dying of alcohol and, you know, hazing and stuff. Do you think that there's any benefits with hazing in the Greek system, or what's your views on hazing?
Hazing is totally illegal. If you take your student handbook, they have a list of our university, Southern Arkansas, has a list of everything that they consider hazing. Which, I mean, if you look at it, what me and you do on a regular basis, they would consider that hazing, you know. So there's no benefits to it. It's nothing but, you know, it's just going to get you in trouble.
Do you agree with the terms that the school sets?
They're a little strict, but yes, I agree with them.
Okay. Besides being president right now of this local chapter, what other positions do you currently hold, or have you held? Maybe help prepare you to be a president of a fraternity.
Well, like I said, inside the fraternity, I held the secretary and the vice president before moving up to president. I was the chief justice for Student Government Association, which, you know, that took a lot of people skills, a lot of working with the administration on that. I also was a resident assistant in the residence halls, so that helped me interact with other students real well. And socially, I think that's what helped me out, those positions.
With the number of members you have here in this chapter and the grade point average of the members, does that stuff fall back on you if those numbers dip, or if they rise, do you get the credit for it, or is it
basically, if they dip, if they drop below, that's whenever I hear it. You know, I'll get a letter in my mailbox saying, hey, these students need to bring their grades up. And, you know, that kind of makes me look like the bad guy, because I got to go talk to those people personally, see what I can do to help them out, other than study halls, like I mentioned before, that we have.
Were you aware of this, or did it kind of catch you by surprise when you were first elected, even though you prepared for it? Did some of the duties and the responsibilities, will they exceed your expectations?
Well, I was, it's been a lot harder than what I expected. The type of person I am, I like everything perfect. I have to have everything perfect, and just because I'm president, you know, if we have a party, you know, I'm going to be the one picking up the trash also. I'm not just going to stand back and watch. I'm going to be in there with the people, not just tell them, hey, you do this, you do that. So it's been tough, but I love it. You know, I love my fraternity, and you know, this is just part of the responsibilities I hold.
Do you think the members receive you better because you are willing to not point fingers and give directions?
They do.
You're able to work with them?
They commend me every time they see me. You know, hey, you're doing a good job, and that really means a lot to me, because we've had some executive board members in the past that they just set up there just for the name, you know, and I don't agree with that none, not at all. I think if you're gonna accept the position, you're gonna have to do the duties along with it. So.
Okay. Moving back to the Greeks on campus and the fraternities, is there a national council or committee or anything that governs fraternities on this campus? And if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Like I said earlier, the Inter-Greek Council, that's over all the Greeks on the campus here at SAU. They govern all the Greeks, fraternities, sororities. Just the white male or white fraternities, we have the IFC, that's the Interfraternal Council, and they govern us.
Okay, is there any, is it students that govern that council, or is it faculty of the university, or?
Well, we have faculty advisors. Wendy Morgan is the main one, but like right now, I hold the position of Interfraternal Council president right now, and then we have students from each Greek organization that hold the executive boards on the IGC and IFC.
How did it come to you being the president?
Well, with the IFC, it just now got started last year, and what we did is we had four 4 fraternities, and we started with the fraternity that's been here the longest, which is Sigma Pi. They're here a semester before we were. They automatically started out as president. They chose somebody from within, and with us being second on campus, we was vice president. Sig Tals were third secretary, and then Alpha Tau Omega was fourth. So they're the treasurer, and it just moves up. Like now, Sigma Pi is the treasurer, and we're president, and then next year it's just that order.
Is it hard to keep not be biased in any decisions you have to make as being the president of the council, or?
Not really, because really the only time we meet and is whenever we have a problem or doing benefits. It's not really I don't know what you call it's an organization, but it's just for like fundraisers and to help the white male fraternities on campus get higher on campus.
Okay. There's a special time of the year that comes around where it's just for Greeks on the campus of Southern Arkansas University, and it's Greek Week. Could you tell us a little bit about what goes on in Greek Week and some activities going on?
Greek Week is held during the spring semester. It's a time where all the Greeks can come together and have, like you said earlier, your friendly competitions, which it gets pretty fierce. We have different events like relay races, dress-up days. You get certain points for taking part in different activities. We'll have a step show, lip sync contest, those to name a few. And past couple of years, we've been pretty lucky because we've won Greek Week, and that made us the most outstanding Greek fraternity on campus. So it's a fun time during 1 week in the spring where we can just all come together and try to put the hard feelings aside and have your friendly competition.
Do you feel that the Greeks, come together during that week and, kind of bond and don't look at it just like as organization against organization, just kind of everybody, bonds or comes together like you were saying?
I think they do in a way, but anytime you're going to have competition, you're going to have those heated rivalries, and most time it's us and Sig Tals that are competing for it, whether it be the relay races or the lip syncs. I mean, they're out to beat us, we're out to beat them because we're have the 2 top fraternities I think on campus, member-wise and quality-wise. So I think that's the competition right there.
Okay, in your opinion, and don't be shy, what makes Phi Lambda a better fraternity than any of the others on campus? In your opinion, if you're trying to coerce me.
Like I said, we're diverse. I mean, we're not gonna just because you wear khakis, we're not gonna say, hey, you can't join our organization. If we like you, if you have what it takes, you show us brotherhood just by meeting us, and you come to our rush parties, and we can go from there. But like I said, if you wear khakis, we're not going to say, hey, you wear khakis. You're not going to get in our fraternity. We're diverse. That's what makes us better, I think.
Do you think that's a problem on campus and in other places that you have to fit a certain stigma to be even considered a member?
Like I tell everybody else, you don't have to change for us. That's what attracted me to Phi Lambda whenever I was a freshman here. I could be myself around them and around people in public, and I think some organizations you can't do that. They mold you to what they want you to be like,
sure.
and we don't agree with that.
Okay. Since you are the president, getting back into your position in the Phi Lambda fraternity, are there higher standards required for you of being the president? Do you have to, I don't know, be a certain way or anything like that? Just be president?
I have to be just like the other brothers. I still have to require to maintain a 2.0 grade point average. The only thing different is I have to attend meetings on campus, executive board meetings, run the meetings. That's a major thing. Come up with agendas for the week and just different activities for us to do. So I'm just like any other brother.
You were talking earlier about why faculty and some people hold a negative opinion of the Greek system, and you mentioned some of the accidents that happen on bigger campuses. Any other reason? Do you think it's just maybe people that weren't part of the Greek system that look bad upon it, and they maybe regret that they weren't a part of it, so therefore it's bad because they didn't?
I think so. I'll give you a good example. During our rush week, we hold our rush table, our sign-up table in front of Hart and Theater. And what we do to attract some of our guys and just to get people, in the mood of going to class, we play music. And it's not harming anybody. You can come up and request a song, we'll play it. And the faculty does not like it at all. And I think if the students like it and they're having a good time, then they just need to let it slide, let us have a good time.
Do you think that's just something that's directed at fraternities, or is it just is our campus just taking a turn in that direction? I know some people have been going through a problem with no skateboarding and no rollerblading on campus. Do you think that's connected in any way, or?
I don't know what the deal is, but I think it all goes to fraternities. They're against them, but we're working, trying to change that. Trying to move in the direction of hey, fraternities aren't bad, even though you hear that they are.
If you could go back and change anything, would you have not joined a fraternity or anything?
I would still be sitting here right now because it's the best decision I've ever made here at college and in my life. I love my fraternity, and I'd do anything for it.
Well, how do you think that Greek life has prepared you for post-college?
Well, I forget what the percentage is, but it's over 75% of your top industries, people in the world are a member of the Greek organizations. And whenever you go somewhere to find a job, they're not going to, they're going to hire a Greek over a non-Greek, I think, because no matter what letters you wear, they're going to say, hey, you're a Greek, you know what it's all about. Obviously, the people skills, and that certain stuff.
In your time spent here at SAU, I know you said you've been here 5 years. Do you think that the Greek system as a whole has improved or declined in your 5 years?
I think the Greek system has declined, but I think Phi Lambda Chi has inclined, because whenever I first started here, I think we had maybe 10 members, under 10 members, and now, like I said, we've won the last 2 years at the most outstanding Greek fraternity on campus. We've won the Chapter Excellence Awards from our national fraternities, and we've had several students or several brothers get awards from our national conference for being good brothers, good students, that type of stuff. So I think the Greek system has declined, but I think Phi Lambs have inclined.
Why do you think the Greek system? What were some of the reasons?
People, negative stuff is turning people away. And I mean, I don't care if, what you join, as long as you go Greek. We're trying to, if you ask any other person on campus that is Greek, it does not matter what you go, it's as long as you go, because we're just trying to up our reputation here on campus.
You was talking about chapter receiving awards nationally. Have you received any national awards from Phi Lambda Nationals?
This last summer, I received the Man of the Year award from all of our chapters, the national Phi Lambda Chi National Organization. On campus, last year I received the Greek Man of the Year award, and I was also Pledge of the Year way back when. So those are a couple of awards I've received.
Any final thoughts that you would like to say about the Greek system and especially Phi Lambda fraternity?
Like I said a while ago, just go Greek. We're trying to up our standards on this campus. We want people to see us as students, not just people that, hey, they're going to go out and cause trouble, drink beer, get in fights and that type of stuff. I just want people to just go Greek. That's our main purpose on this campus.
I want to thank Jeremy, the president of Phi Lambda Chi fraternity on Southern Arkansas University campus, for joining us. Thanks for watching.
The SAU Report is a production of broadcast journalism students in the Department of Theater and Mass Communication at Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.